Drayage is the transportation of containerized freight by truck, typically from a marine terminal to a warehouse for import shipments. Sometimes referred to as the first mile, drayage represents a $50 billion segment of the annual U.S. transportation market. Moving a loaded import container from a marine terminal to a warehouse takes a tremendous amount of communication and coordination between multiple stakeholders, including the shipper, steamship line, terminal, chassis provider, trucking company, and the warehouse. In the last 5 years alone, over $250 million has been invested in developing technologies that seek to disrupt the drayage industry by solving the multiple challenges that make up what is considered the most critical, complex, and antiquated part of the global supply chain. Enter Next Trucking, the undisputed leader of the digital drayage revolution. Next develops drayage technology that simplifies and automates much of the work that shippers and trucking companies struggle with when managing the transportation of a container. Powered by artificial intelligence, Next's advanced trucking logistics automation system, also known as Atlas, automates the scheduling of appointments at marine terminals and warehouses, efficiently bundles container loads across all of Next's import and export customers to create simple dual transaction jobs, and intelligently matches these jobs with the most qualified trucking company or independent owner-operator to maximize their network utilization and earning potential. Integrated into the Next Carrier mobile app, Atlas automatically collects real-time GPS data while a truck driver is on a job and, combined with Next redundant chassis GPS integrations, provides shippers with accurate tracking visibility of their drayage containers in the Next shipper portal or through EDI and API integrations. In the Next mobile drayage marketplace, a trucking company or independent owner-operator can book recommended dual transaction jobs based on their personal qualifications, preferences, current location, and job history. There's no need to schedule terminal appointments or worry about managing the last free day and free time expiration dates to avoid demurrage and per diem charges. All appointments are automatically scheduled in advance, and all of the job details, document submission requirements, and payment information are provided up front. With the tap of a button, a dual transaction job is booked and ready to be completed. So what does it take, and how else does Next make it easier for a truck driver to complete a dual transaction at a marine terminal? For the first load of this dual transaction job, the truck driver will hook up to the assigned empty container at a Next yard and terminate it at the Houston terminal in the Port of Los Angeles. With over 17,000 truck drivers operating in Los Angeles and Long Beach Port Complex every day, truck traffic can cause a lot of congestion in and around the terminals. For terminals who offer them, the Next mobile app provides access to live cameras to give truck drivers advanced real-time visibility of terminal traffic congestion. When the truck driver arrives at the Houston terminal, their truck's RFID tag is automatically detected, triggering the first of a series of timestamps associated with the truck driver's turn time in the terminal. Knowing how long it takes truck drivers to complete a container transaction helps Houston operations staff keep the terminal running as efficiently as possible. At the TWIC security checkpoint, the truck driver is required to present their TWIC card and state-issued commercial driver's license to confirm their identity. Once their identity is confirmed, the truck driver enters the terminal's in-gate queue and proceeds to the entrance OCR portal. Using optical character recognition, high-definition cameras read the truck's license plate number, the container number, and the chassis number to automatically inform Houston Terminal's operating software that a truck driver has arrived to terminate the empty container. Before progressing to the in-gate pedestal to check in for their appointment, the truck driver has to quickly park and exit the truck to unlock the chassis pins. This allows the container to be separated from the chassis inside the terminal. For safety reasons, this is one of only 2 times the truck driver is allowed to exit their truck while on Houston Terminal property. By the time the truck driver arrives to the in-gate pedestal, a clerk inside the Houston admin building is able to review the OCR images and see exactly where the empty container needs to be dismounted in the terminal yard. Once the truck driver is successfully checked in at the pedestal, their in-gate tickets are printed and they can officially enter the terminal. If the truck driver is unfamiliar with where the assigned dismount location is to terminate the empty container, they can pull over and open the terminal map in the Next mobile app to quickly and easily find the dismount location and drive to it. With over 1,100 different container locations in Houston Terminal's main yard, easy access to the terminal map keeps truck drivers moving, preventing delays, and reducing the risk of detention happening in the terminal. When the truck driver arrives at the dismount location, an operator in a specialized piece of equipment called a top handler directs them into a designated spot, removes the container from the chassis, and places the empty container in the container stack. Now that the empty container is officially terminated, the first load of the truck driver's dual transaction job is done. To complete the second load of the dual transaction, the truck driver will take the chassis to another location in the terminal yard, get their assigned loaded import container mounted to the chassis, and deliver it to the designated warehouse. Reusing the same chassis from the empty container better utilizes the chassis equipment, prevents the shipper from having to pay a chassis split charge, and saves the truck driver from having to find a different chassis for the second load. When the truck driver arrives at the loaded import container location, 2 operators are there to assist. The first operator on the ground guides the truck into position and communicates with the second operator in the rubber tire gantry crane, who picks up the loaded import container from the stack and mounts it onto the chassis. Before the truck driver can leave the terminal to deliver the loaded import container, they have to first pass through roadability for a chassis safety inspection. Truck drivers who bring their own company chassis are typically waved through, as they are responsible for their own chassis maintenance and safety inspections. After roadability, the exit OCR portal's high-definition cameras read the truck's license plate number, the container number, and the chassis number to automatically alert Houston Terminal's operating software that the loaded import container is about to be outgated. As the truck driver progresses through the radiation portal, an X-ray scan of the container's contents is captured by U.S. Customs and Border Patrol. This ensures that no unlawful or dangerous cargo makes it out of the terminal without proper documentation. The second and only other time the truck driver is allowed to safely exit their truck on Houston Terminal property is here in the outgate queue to lock the chassis pins. This keeps the loaded import container secured to the chassis while it's on the road. By the time the truck driver gets to the outgate pedestal, if Houston Terminal's operating software confirms everything is in order, the gate will automatically open and they can leave the terminal to deliver the loaded import container to the designated warehouse. Depending on the time of day, it can take a truck driver between 30 and 90 minutes to complete a dual transaction at a marine terminal.